Have you ever hesitated to speak up because you worried that it might drive someone away? Or maybe you've gone along with something that didn't feel right just to avoid conflict or keep the peace. And if so, you're not alone because many of us have moved through relationships doing everything we could to hold on to connection, even when that meant abandoning parts of ourselves. And if you tend toward anxious attachment, boundaries might have felt unfamiliar or even unsafe, not because you're too sensitive, but because at some point, your nervous system might have learned that closeness means safety and boundaries mean distance. But the truth is that healthy boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're actually what allows us to stay close without losing ourselves. So in this video, we're going to talk about why boundaries might have felt hard in the past, subtle signs that we're not honoring our limits, and what healthy and connected boundaries actually look like. And then we'll talk about 5 steps to begin setting boundaries in a way that feels safe and grounded and clear. And we'll also explore something that's frequently overlooked, and that's that boundaries aren't just what we say to other people. They're about what we allow for ourselves. Hi, I'm Kayli.larkin, and I help people to attract relationships with more ease and security and joy. And you can visit my website at kayli.larkin.com, where you can find a course on boundaries for anxious attachment style and tons of other resources there as well. So let's talk about why boundaries might have felt unsafe. For many of us, boundaries weren't something that we saw modeled growing up. If love felt unpredictable or conditional, we might have learned to stay small or agreeable or just hyper attuned to other people in order to keep the connection alive. And when we did try to express a need or set a limit, we might have gotten ignored or guilt tripped or made to feel like we were too much. So we adapted. We learned that closeness meant suppressing parts of ourselves. And that response made a lot of sense at the time. But now those old strategies might be what's keeping us from the kind of love that actually feels steady and mutual. And here's the good news. We're not stuck in these old patterns. So boundaries are a skill that we can build, and safety is something that we can create within ourselves first. So let's talk about some subtle signs that our boundaries might be slipping. Sometimes we don't realize that we've let our boundaries slide until we just feel completely drained, or we feel resentful or anxious. So here are a few signs that may or may not sound familiar. For example, we say yes when something inside of us is saying no. We feel responsible for someone else's emotions or reactions. We avoid sharing our needs because we're afraid of being too much. We keep hoping that someone will change while ignoring our own discomfort. And we question whether we're even allowed to ask for more. And these patterns aren't flaws, they're signs that we've been protecting connection in the only way that we knew how. And the fact that you're here now means that something inside of you is ready for something a little more steady. So let's talk about 5 steps to start building boundaries that feel safe and supportive. So first, notice what feels off. Before we can set new boundaries, we have to notice where our current ones are being crossed. And this may be a somatic practice. They may be crossed by other people, or they may be crossed by ourselves. If something feels heavy or unclear or draining, that's a signal to us. And you don't have to justify or explain it, you just get to notice it. Second is to get curious about what you actually need. So many of us learn to read everyone else's signals, everyone else's needs, but not our own. So it's worth asking yourself, okay, what helps me to feel grounded? Where do I get to feel emotionally safe? And what feels like too much? What helps me to stay regulated when things get stressful? And this kind of clarity is what boundaries are built on. Third is to redefine what boundaries actually are. So let's let go of the notion that boundaries mean rejection. Boundaries aren't about being cold. They're not about being disconnected. They're just about showing up honestly, showing up authentically, and inviting other people in your life to do the same. So some gentle boundary phrases might sound like, I want to stay connected, but I need a break before we talk more. Or, that's not something I'm okay with right now. Or, let's check in later when I feel more settled. So phrases that are kind and simple and direct and create emotional safety. Fourth is to honor your internal boundaries. So too often we talk about setting limits with other people, and that's what boundaries mean to a lot of people. But a lot of us also need to set boundaries with ourselves. So internal boundaries sound like you telling yourself, I don't explain myself repeatedly to be understood, or I don't stay in spaces where I feel small or unsafe, or I give myself permission to walk away from patterns that drain me. And these boundaries protect our time, our energy, and our self-worth. And fifth is to soothe the nervous system afterwards. So even when we set a clear and kind boundary, our bodies may still have a reaction to that. So you might feel guilt or anxiety or second guessing. That doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It means that you're learning something new. So offer yourself some care and breathe and move, journal, call someone who gets it, and remind yourself that you're safe even when you're being honest. So let's talk about what might shift when you start honoring your boundaries. When we begin to trust our own limits, things start to change, sometimes in big ways, sometimes in small and steady ones. So you might notice that you feel calmer in your relationships, or you stop overthinking everything you say, or you attract people who respect your clarity. You spend less energy performing and more time just feeling grounded. And maybe most importantly, you stop abandoning yourself just to be close to someone else. So boundaries are not a rejection of love. They're the beginning of a more honest and spacious and secure kind of love, yes. And if you're ready to feel more confident and grounded in your relationships, I created a resource that can help. It's called Boundaries for Anxious Attachment, and it's a gentle step-by-step course filled with practical tools and nervous system support and boundary scripts to help you feel safe showing up as your full self in love. And you can check it out in the link in the description. And before you go, I'd love to know in the comments, what's one small boundary, internal or external, that you were curious about trying? So if this video was helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps to reach more people and give more support. And just remember, you're not too much, you're not too hard to love, and you're allowed to take up space in love and life and in every version of yourself. This is Kayli Larkin, wishing you a beautiful relational journey.